Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Absolute Cinema Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Eli.
I'm Jake.
And hey, if you're watching this before it reaches 10 views on YouTube, then make sure to leave a comment. Let's play a fun little game, okay? Because chances are you probably are. But today we're talking about the How to Train Your Dragon live-action remake, which I really enjoyed. Jake, what did you think?
I thought it was pretty solid. I mean, personally, I'm probably going to get flamed for this in the comments. I'm just kind of ready for it. I personally never really got into the How to Train Your Dragons whenever I was younger. I know you definitely did because you watched, like, the show.
Oh, yeah.
You literally watched, like, every single thing. I watched all three of the movies. I think I watched a few episodes of the show because you dragged me into it. But I just, for whatever reason, I never really got into it. I have no idea why. You guys can flame me all you want in the comments for this, but yeah. I'm not saying they're bad. It's just I just never really got into any of them. I know I've watched all three films once, but going into this live action one, I thought it was actually pretty solid. I wouldn't say it's better than the original one. I mean, I had to rewatch the OG ones again. I would say at least in recent memory, I would say this remake is pretty much on par with the original one.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a diehard fan of How to Train Your Dragon.
You're probably more of a, like, I feel like between the two of us, people listen to you more because you're actually a How to Train Your Dragon diehard. So if you know whose opinion to go off of his, because I'm just literally a casual.
Well, I think it's good to have both opinions.
Well, that's true.
But the thing is, I've seen the first one the least, though, out of the trilogy.
Oh, I remember you telling me that.
So, like, I've seen it, like, I have not seen the first one that much. Mostly because, like, it's a little dated in the animation style, but I mean, the story is so awesome that, like, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I'm a diehard. I've seen all the shows, I've seen all the movies. Like, I absolutely love this franchise. I played the like computer game.
Oh, I remember you playing
10 years
that.
ago.
Yeah.
Like, it was like I was obsessed with How to Train Your Dragon. I remember when they announced the release date for the third one, and I was like, oh wow, like, can't wait. I have to wait like 2 years, whatever. Do you remember when I was?
Yes, I remember that. You were like really excited for it.
Yeah, and then we saw the third one opening day, and I thought the third one was great. But for the longest time, the second one was like my favorite one.
Yeah, it was.
Which I don't know if it is anymore, because people say it's like the weakest one apparently. So
It's between that or the third one that I've heard. I hear some people love the second one and don't like the third. But I also hear people don't love the second one and love the third movie.
really,
Yeah, I've seen different. I guess it's just different people in the fandom. I guess have different opinions. I need to look more into like what the consensus is, but I'm not sure. I thought the third one was pretty solid. I never really watched it together. I remember watching it on the opening day together, thinking like this is actually pretty good.
yeah, it's awesome. I love the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. It's, in my opinion, DreamWorks' best franchise that they've ever done. I mean, at least most consistent for a whole completed trilogy. I guess Kung Fu Panda, but even Kung Fu Panda like
comes close.
The third one's like good. Or I would even say it's pretty good, but like
the third one the third one was kind of the weakest of the two. The second one was fire.
The second one was awesome. The first one was great. But I think How to Train Your Dragon,
all
three of them are consistently just amazing.
Yeah.
So
and then the Shrek franchise has also been like the first two were good.
The first two were absolutely amazing, incredible. And
three was bad. I haven't watched 4, but you say it's all right. And then
I think it's all right.
And then Last Wish, Puss in Boots was fire. But
True.
I never watched the first one.
The first one's like fine.
Okay, yeah, that's so.
The first one's good. I like the first one, but like, I mean, the second one is really good.
Yeah.
So even Shrek, and Shrek has more movies, so more opportunities to not be as good, I guess. But even, I mean, the third Shrek movie is easily the worst movie in the franchise.
Absolutely.
So.
But yeah, How to Train Your Dragon, I would say, is definitely the most consistent one. Unfortunately, Megamind was not turned into a franchise, but...
Well...
Oh, wait, they had this show.
I mean, technically, no. The general, like... We all like to consider that it's not a franchise, but...
I consider Megamind to not be a franchise.
They never made a second movie.
Oh, yeah, there's no Megamind 2.
Or even a sequel series that was on Peacock or whatever.
Nope, they never thought to make...
Peacock? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's Peacock. But it's crazy. They never thought to make that. And I think if I were to say honestly, thinking about it, I think my favorite DreamWorks movie is probably Megamind, because I just think it's hysterical.
Yeah, DreamWorks is so inconsistent with their quality, though. It's so weird. Like, sometimes they make like they make like such absolute bangers, and they also make like
the worst movies ever.
I guess Disney's the same way.
Disney's the same way. Prince of Egypt was fire. It's an underrated DreamWorks.
I just rewatched Prince of Egypt, and yes, Prince of Egypt is a very good movie.
But yes, you were saying How to Train Your Dragon is probably the most consistent they've ever been, even though they're very wildly inconsistent with everything.
Yeah, exactly. How to Train Your Dragon is The entire
I am a casual, but I will say, yeah, it is easily the most consistent of all the DreamWorks movies.
Yeah, and it is an adaptation of a book too. So,
which they say is apparently is different from the book. They say it's better. They say
is.
it's like the one time that's like deviating from the source material made something better.
Yeah, I mean it's a fantastic series. I mean the world, the characters, the like idea of riding dragons, and you just like as a kid, I wanted to be in that world.
Well, now you can at Epic Universe and Universal.
That's true. I wish I was still like that age. No, but I would. We live here in Florida, so I would love to go to Epic Universe.
One day, I want to go to Epic Universe and see it.
It's just really crowded right now.
Yeah, just wait for it to
it's
die
like
down.
obnoxious. So, but yeah, I'd like to get over there because that is awesome, and everything I've seen from it is cool. Even the like Monsters Land and stuff.
Monsters Land looks fire. Mario World looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks great.
Everything about it looks cool.
Because we're not huge fans of Universal.
No, but like I will admit this. All their new stuff looks fire. Like I've seen pictures of like they're doing like a Fast and Furious roller coaster over in California, which apparently is using the same tech as Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Really? And I've seen some like pictures of what the coaster looks like. Like that actually looks fire. Like that looks awesome.
That's sick. Yeah.
And apparently they might. I know you know that like rocket. Do you know that roller coaster you told me about Universal where you could like pick whichever song?
Yeah,
you use?
the rocket.
Apparently that might be a Ghostbusters roller coaster. Maybe
Ooh,
saw a rumor about that. Don't quote me on that.
Down here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Apparently that might get changed to a Ghostbusters thing. But
so yeah, I mean,
but yeah,
we're not huge fans of Universal. I just think a lot of the stuff is like dated to me.
I think
their
new
stuff,
they do is.
But the Epic Universe
amazing,
stuff that all looks awesome, and the How to Train Your Dragon world.
I'm still praying they put Lord of the Rings in at some point. Please, I want Lord of the Rings at Universal.
But yeah, I mean, it's a great world. It's a great setting, with Burke and like the Vikings and the dragons. Like
I will admit, it's a really fascinating world. Like I actually do like the world that they set up for that.
Yeah, and then even in the series they expand upon it. There's even a reference in the movie to the series. There's multiple references to the series actually. In the movie, because there's a dragon in the series called the Whispering Death that they find. And
that in the remake?
That was in the remake, but not the original movie.
Okay.
And he was like looking at the Book of Dragons, and Snotloud's father is in the series, but he's not in the movie. So
I thought that was kind of interesting. I wish they kind of developed that a little more in the remake, but I think that's an interesting idea because I didn't remember him in the original one. And you told me that he was, and I'm like, okay.
Well, yeah, I think this is the best live action remake possibly ever. I think Disney needs to take notes from this one because it is basically the same movie. Like, it's basically a shot-for-shot remake. There's scene comparisons where they put the scenes side by side, basically exactly the same. Now, it is about like 25, 30 minutes longer than the original, and that's because some scenes are expanded, and they even cut down on some scenes from the original and and focused on other parts. But like, it's
mostly the same.
It's the same director. It's the same composer. They just brought them back. It's the same actor of Stoic. Like
they just picked and choose who to come back and just brought him into the live action.
They brought him back and then they just said adapt this to the live action medium. That's really all you got to do. You don't got to change the story. Just give us the same thing essentially, just a little bit different.
Updated, yeah.
And like we'll eat it up. It's making a lot of money.
Yeah, just like keep the story the same and then just fix what maybe didn't work about the original one.
That's the problem. They keep remaking these movies that are classics and awesome, like Lilo and Stitch, and then when they change things, it's like this didn't need to be changed. I'm more sympathetic to the Nani thing with Lilo, even though it still to me is just very cynical and like
yeah. I will not forgive them for turning Uncle Jumba into the villain in the live action remake.
But if I had a nickel for every time a Chris Sanders and Dean DeBlois animated movie was remade in the year 2025, I'd have 2 nickels.
Which is not a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
Yeah. Which, by the way, the old saying was like, if I had a nickel for every time blank happened, it'd be like, I'd have enough money to buy something. But nowadays, in our generation, the way you finish that phrase is now like, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
All because of Phineas and Ferb.
Like, it changed the vernacular of our generation.
I kind of like it better, honestly.
Like, it replaced the old version, which is kind of funny, but a random side note. But yeah, this is a Chris Sanders, Dean DeBlois animated film. Another one, Lilo and Stitch is the same. It's the same directors, which is why Toothless looks like Stitch.
Speaking of Stoic, I actually do like how they fleshed out his motivation for why he doesn't like dragons so much. It's like you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I don't remember. Again, I don't really remember the original one very well, but I don't know if they fully developed his reason for why he hated dragons so much. And I know, like in the second one, they bring up his mom, and so I like how in this remake, in the live action one, they kind of take that and put it in this one and say like that's why he hates dragons because they took his wife.
Yeah,
I think that's more of a justified reason than just I don't like dragons.
I think in the original they do say that they took Hiccup's mom.
Okay,
I think they do.
okay.
They just don't emphasize it as much as they do in the remake. In the remake, Gobber says Valka, which is her name, and Stoic they like emphasize her more. Like Hiccup says to Astrid, "They took my mom." I don't think that was in the original. So it is. I'm pretty sure it is mentioned in the original. They just don't mention it as much as they do in this one. Because in this one, they're trying to be like, we're doing the second one too.
The second one, yeah.
Like,
They announced the second one months before this one even came out.
Yeah. So it's what 2028.
It was 2027, and then it's just a 2-year turnaround.
It's coming out in 2027.
And they announced it back in April.
Wow.
They're pretty confident. They were pretty confident even back then.
Well, obviously, I mean, I knew it was going to make $1 billion or whatever. I mean, it's going to be successful. Obviously, the How to Train Your Dragon,
and especially at least it's getting good reviews now too.
And it is, yeah. And it's, I mean, again, it's because it's true. Like the director understands his vision for the movie, and he understands his direction for when he made How to Train Your Dragon back in I forget the year that it
2011.
came out. 2011. Okay. Yeah, he understood his vision. He understood his intention and the heart of the characters and the world and the story that he was doing. And so Disney needs to bring back the original directors for these movies when they do remakes because
literally
it keeps the heart and soul of How to Train Your Dragon. In my opinion, as someone who's a hardcore fan, I just really felt like I was watching just an adapted version of the same movie with the same heart, with the same emotion and the same tone, even if it's a little darker. Like, it doesn't have as much of the little charming moments. Yeah, because as far as live-action remakes go, yes, very soulless, very corporate. We've been over this with the Lilo and Stitch live-action remake. Yeah. Like, I just don't think they should be a thing. It's like the death of art kind of shtick.
Just a little bit.
Where it's it's like it's less creativity. It's just another excuse to, like, revamp an original story and turn it into something that's not original and, like, just redo it just to... as a cheap gimmick to make money. Disney is pumping them out like there's no tomorrow.
Pretty much.
Well, after Snow White, they kind of hit the brakes. But now after Lilo and Stitch, you're like, oh, yeah, never mind. Let's keep doing it.
Well, now they have the Moana one next year, so I'm sure if that one makes money, they're just going to keep going.
Yeah, forever and ever. Movies that were made 7 years ago.
And then eventually, I told you this, eventually they're going to start remaking the same classic movies again, but in CG animated form. So we're going to get a CG animated Aladdin remake and a CG animated Jungle Book remake. And so on and so forth. We're going to get the same movies but in CG form.
Yeah. Totally agree with all of the, like, live-action remakes are unoriginal. And
would you say that the How to Train Your Dragon remake is better than the Sorcerer's Apprentice live-action movie?
Probably.
I was going to say, if you still say Sorcerer's Apprentice is the best live-action remake after this movie, I was going to be mad.
Sorcerer's Apprentice, still a great one. For the record, you've never seen it, so
that's true.
Can't say anything. It's Nicolas Cage. It's the kid who played Hiccup in the original How to Train Your Dragon. It's a lot of fun, and it's like it still has a reference to the original Sorcerer's Apprentice thing. It's a good classic, like late 2000s good time. It's like some of the best that they were putting out at that time period. Because it was like what 2008 or 9, I think. It was like it's Nick Cage, bro. Like it's a lot of fun. Is it Nicolas Cage? It is, yeah, right.
I mean, yeah.
It is.
That's right. You'll have to tell. You'll have to tell me.
And Dr. Octopus.
Oh, Melina?
Yes, he's the villain. I'm pretty sure. It's a fun time. It's really, and it takes place in New York, I think.
I'll take your word for it. Okay.
No, don't take my word for it. Go watch it for yourself, and then you'll.
Maybe I will. Maybe I will.
But yeah, I'd say this is probably the best live action remake.
Probably. Another thing I will say, speaking of underdeveloped stuff, I think that I like
Please
the Stoic
talk about
Dad.
the movie, Jake. Talk about what you think about How to Train Your Dragon.
I think the Stoic Dad should have been developed more. I think that the Hiccup Astrid thing felt a little rushed. This time around, like the relationship, I feel like their relationship moved a little bit too fast. Like they're already like she's already kissing him, and like I'm just like okay. I don't remember it being this fast.
You're like you're already together.
I vaguely remember the original one, but I'm like I don't remember it being this fast in the original.
Well,
one.
it is pretty much after the flight that they take that she,
Well,
but
obviously,
but it's a little different in the remake, and I think it is a little bit more. I think for some reason that specific part is a little condensed in the remake.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I mean. The other thing I will say, as far as characters go, obviously Gerard Butler as Stoic is great.
Yeah, he has not skipped a beat. I mean, obviously he's been like 10 years since the original one. He's still got it. Is Gobber the same voice from the original one?
It's not the same actor.
Okay,
no.
I didn't think so.
But Mason Thames' Hiccup was great. I thought he did an awesome job. He's a great actor.
I think I liked Astrid. I mean,
Nico Parker as Astrid. The thing is, because there was a controversy over her not being white or blonde or whatever, which I don't usually care about. I'm like, well, if they casted the best person for the role, then I don't really care.
Exactly, yeah.
Like if she's the best actress, and I don't know if she was the best person for the role, honestly. After watching the movie,
I think she was fine.
She was a little emotionless.
I can say
she lacked a little bit. Like I feel like she could have given more, but. I mean,
she just seemed like she was grumpy the whole time. Like she went from grumpy to being nice to him, and that's why I felt rushed to me because like she didn't really convey that she like went from hating him to liking him. Yeah, she didn't really convey that enough to me, the audience, and so I'm just kind of like, is she actually like him? I thought Snotlat was.
Snotlat was. Perfect,
I actually liked Snotlat a lot. I still think it's funny because I remember you told me this on your some people on your Instagram are comparing you to Snotlat, and so that's why I just think it's hilarious. But like,
not look like Snotlat, bro.
I think it's a spot on comparison. At least the animated one, not the live action one.
No,
the
animated
one.
No.
But I like the live action Snotlat. And also it reminded me of you a little bit. Like I was just like, that's probably
the live action Snotlat remind you of me,
like a little bit. That was funny.
How?
I actually liked Fish Legs. I mean, I think Fish Legs
was fun.
I've always thought Fish Legs is an underrated character. I'm like, why doesn't this guy get more attention? I like Fish Legs. Unfortunately,
I think from the hardcore fan base, he probably gets enough attention. I would tell you that.
Okay, I don't want to know what that means.
It doesn't mean anything weird. I'm just saying.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I just don't want to know what it means. But I mean. That's also, I will say this: the twins still like
the twins are to stick out like a sore thumb, dude. I'm like,
literally,
what was it?
Whenever I hear him, I'm just like, he's annoying. I'm like, why was this guy ever in Hollywood? Bro?
I have no idea.
The only time I will give him this: he was funny in the Deadpool movies, but other than that, I'm just like, his voice is kind of annoying to me.
Yeah, I don't know why. He was one of those guys in like that 2013.
He was in like the 2010s. Yeah. For some reason, he was just popping up and
being pushed around like TJ Miller, and it's like because I guess everyone thought he was funny for some reason. So I don't know. The twins stick out like a sore thumb in this movie. I don't understand the thought process behind them because like they're not even identical twins, and it's like it's like I was like that felt like a miscast to me. I thought
it was weird that they changed. I can never get their names right. What's the male one name again?
Tough Nut.
Tough Nut. Okay, I always get their names wrong. I think it was weird that they made him a ginger because I remember him being blonde in the original one. Yeah. And I think I thought it was weird that they made him a ginger. I'm like, that was not a necessary change.
Oh, redhead. Yeah.
Made him a redhead. Yeah.
Or both of them are. I mean, right? Yeah. Both in this movie.
You know, the original one, they're both blondes. So I'm like, do people in this movie just hate blondes?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Actually, I don't know. I mean,
but again, I don't really care. Like again, if it's the right person for the role, then it's just like.
Yeah, but I don't think they were the right person for the role. Honestly, I think they could have gotten someone better. Honestly, that's the biggest problem I think with this movie. It's just that some of the casting for some of the side characters.
It's literally just the side characters. It's like Hiccup's great, Stoic's good. I just said his name earlier. Stoic's friend. I always Gobber. I said it earlier, and I already forgot it. See, this is how much of a casual I am. People are gonna hate me. And it's like, but yeah, it's literally just the side characters that are just like they don't feel like they're casted right.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, honestly. I don't know why they did that because Hiccup is perfect. I feel like
Hiccup is very much perfect.
I don't mind Astrid, although I think she kind of made the same face the whole movie. And yeah, it's just that little all the crew just feels like is these the best people you could have gotten? So that's my only slight issue. Yeah. I just wish they could have been casted. I feel they could have been casted.
I was surprised with how much they were able to capture Toothless's emotions in this one because it's like most of these live action remakes, because they have to make it, at least the Disney ones specifically, they always have to make it so realistic that it's like they can't emote. But it's like for the live action Toothless, it's like he's pretty much this. It's pretty much the same. It's like all his emotions are pretty much captured perfectly because again, it's like the same movie.
Yeah, and he looks great.
I mean, there's a few things that look off to me like doesn't really feel as animated as the other one, but it was pretty seamless. Again, I was still impressed with how they were able to capture some of
the technology
expressions
the technology of the humans interacting with the dragons was pretty cool too. How they like built like an animatronic thing when they're like flying on them. And that's pretty much the only CG parts of the movie are the dragons. Everything else is pretty much practical. All of the sets were practically built. All of the locations were shot on location. Like it's all practical except for the dragons. That's the only thing that's not.
Yeah.
And even when they're flying on the dragons, they have a full-on robot there that they're riding on. So that was cool too. I mean, just to see that, how much effort they put into making that accurate, and it looks and feels like it's a proper adaptation of the animated
movie.
film.
Yeah,
and it's interesting because Dean,
Dean Deploy.
I think it's Deploy. Pretty sure.
Okay.
I didn't never know. He's never directed a live action movie before.
Hmm.
But he heard that they were doing the live action remake, and he was like, "Let me do it because it's mine, and I don't want to see some." He doesn't like live action remakes.
Okay.
He thinks he's pretty much like us, where it's like they're not really that
like every normal person.
Yeah, exactly. Except every normal person is going out to see these live action remakes whenever they come out. So, I mean, but yeah, he was like, I don't want to see someone else's version of How to Train Your Dragon. I want to do my version.
Yeah.
And stick to, because I know these characters, I know this world, and I think I'm the only one who can do it justice. So, I mean, that was just cool to see that he got to come back and do How to Train Your Dragon himself. And he clearly, I mean, it shows that I think that's a key component to how this feels like it stays true to the original, is that he was directing.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
You gonna say something?
I was trying to think of something else I was going to say about the director.
The director, also, you have to keep in mind, he's also the person who directed the original Lilo and Stitch, or at least worked on it with Chris Sanders, and so that's obviously, you can tell he's a very good storyteller at the very least.
And he didn't even see the new Lilo. He hasn't even seen the new Lilo and Stitch live action.
Really?
Remake. And he actually wasn't attached to it at all. They did not ask him to be a part of it in the slightest, which is kind of weird, because both him and Chris Sanders both did the original. And Chris Sanders was involved with the story for the live action remake of Lilo and Stitch too.
Oh, he was? Okay, I didn't know that.
Like he was the one who wrote the storyline of them giving away Lilo.
Ah, that's interesting.
So, I mean, it's weird to me that...
Well, I wouldn't say he's the one who wrote that, but he was probably involved in, like...
Well, they said it was his idea for the live action remake.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah, and it's weird to me that they didn't ask Dean DeBlois at all to be a part of the live action remake for Lilo and Stitch. That's a little weird.
That is a bit strange.
And it's the first live action remake to be cheaper than the original.
The original one, yeah, that's true. It's like all the other... Because again, all the other ones are Disney remakes, so it's like all of them are...
They all cost like $300-400 million.
Yeah, half of them are like are like all ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, it's like, why are you spending that much money? This one is $150 million, which is only $50 million more than the Lilo and Stitch live action remake, which I think the visuals in this are great. This movie looks really good.
Yeah, it looks amazing. Like, I would say all the visuals in this look better than the ones in Lilo and Stitch live action remake, than the Lilo and Stitch one we just saw like a month ago.
Because there's probably not a ton of visual effects besides the dragons in this one, because they built all these sets practically. So.
Yeah, that's probably where all the budget went. Honestly, it was just in the practical stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, even Toothless looks great.
Oh yeah,
and it looks seamless, and all of the flying scenes look great. I mean, it all looks great. It looks just amazing, and it looks amazing for a $150 million budget too, because that's not that expensive. So
yeah, it's true.
I mean, that they're probably gonna put a little more into the second one, but
definitely. Well, especially now that it's making buckets of money, of course they're gonna put it into the second one.
I mean, it is DreamWorks' first live action remake, so now
wonder are they gonna do any other
Kung
ones?
Fu Panda. Yeah.
That'd be funny actually. How would they do that? How would they do that one?
I don't think they would do that one.
Live action Shrek. No, they're doing Shrek 5, so they can't do that.
Would they do that though?
I mean, well,
they'd probably find a way to do that.
Well, did you also see that Dean
Turbo?
No.
Turbo, actually. Well,
no. Did you see
that one at least has more people.
No, not Turbo. Did you see that Dean DeVoy was asked if he would do a How to Train Your Dragon 4 animated, and he said never say never.
What?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I read this the other day. He was asked, will you do a How to Train Your Dragon 4? He's like, never say never. He's like,
what?
So like, so that's my thing. Maybe they could do a live action Shrek while they're doing an animated one for the 5th movie. How would you? Yeah, so I can turn that to a question. How would you feel they made a How to Train Your Dragon 4
I don't know
animated one after the 3rd one?
I wouldn't really want them to. They did a direct to video movie after 3.
They did, yeah. They did that little short film.
Yeah, it's like 20 minutes or something. I don't know. I think 3 is such a perfect ending. I don't think I'd want a 4. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I guess time will tell.
This one, it's definitely going to be a good return on investment for their money.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know what other remakes DreamWorks could do.
Well, it's just funny now because Disney used to have no competition in a live action remake game, and now DreamWorks is stepping into it and they're doing it better than them. At least some of the more recent ones.
Well, Disney, they got cocky with their live action remakes because now they're just like, they're not good at all. And Snow White was just an absolute disaster. So now DreamWorks is swooping in and being like, oh yeah. Now we mistakenly saw this movie in 3D.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Which I gotta say,
We just wanted like the earliest time possible, and I guess we both just got
For some reason, our local theater is like only showing it twice per day, which I'm like, it's How to Train Your Dragon.
That's crazy.
But we had to go to this other theater, and it was like, and we had to get this. It was like at the back of the theater. It was the very last one, and we got no reclining seats, and it was like in 3D, and we didn't know that.
We had to get 3D glasses.
Which, by the way,
I thought there was something wrong with the projector. I've only watched a 3D film in 3D once, and so I forgot what it looked. Yeah, Force Awakens. I forgot what it looked like without 3D glasses, and so I was like, I was about to look back. I was about to look back and like, is the projector not working or something? And I'm like, oh, it's 3D. It took me a second. I was like, oh, it's.
No, because I walked in because I got something, and then I walked in. and I was like, oh no, it's 3D. I didn't know that. And I was like, do you want to? Get glasses, and I went glasses. And 3D, I gotta say, while we're on the subject, is the most useless way to watch.
Here's the thing: I think it's cool, but at the same time, personally, and I'm gonna sound really old, but it gives me a headache.
Well, for this 2-hour movie, it just doesn't work. I think it was like it's like a cool idea in theory, like, hey, let's make movies 3D, and then like I'm sure there's some movies that are like better to see in 3D than others. Like some are made for 3D.
Yeah.
But to me, like IMAX is more immersive than 3D because like
absolutely
IMAX more immerses me in the movie because it's a bigger screen and it's better sound and that kind of thing than like it just being in 3D. It's like you're wearing the glasses and it's just like I don't know, it's just bad idea. Nobody likes 3D.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I think everybody can agree that like it's not good.
If I say anyone who likes 3D, it's just personally we're not really 3D guys.
Yeah. So. But other than that, the visuals are great.
It's really good visuals. I definitely would say that. I mean, even though I'm definitely a casual fan, I still can admit this is objectively a great story. Even though it's literally a carbon copy of the original, it's still a great story, and I think it's definitely worth telling and bringing in for a new audience.
Yeah, and it's just a classic story of the friendship between Hiccup and Toothless, and Hiccup being an outsider, and changing the ways of the Vikings, and it's a great story.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody knows that. That's why the original franchise was so successful. And
yeah, that's why you got like 3 movies. That's why you got 2 sequels and like multiple spin-off shows.
Yeah, because I mean, it's just a great story. I mean, it's just a great tale, and it's just no matter what medium you put it in, that story
it's always
going to
work.
Be awesome.
Yeah,
and especially since it's the same director, and Disney needs to take notes from
Disney
this.
does need to take notes on this
because it's basically just the same movie. Just
updated, and they changed it up.
They make little slight changes, and to me, that's like as someone who loves the original, I'm a sucker for that. I'm like, heck yeah, I'll buy a ticket for that. Heck yeah, I'll pay for that because it's like it's the same thing that I love, just literally the exact same.
It's just in live action,
exactly.
Yeah, just real life.
Just do that. No need to change it, and
no need to drastically change it. If you want to change some stuff, if you want to change some plot holes, like minor plot holes from the original one, then you can do that. Just don't change everything.
Yeah, like they expanded on why Astrid doesn't like Hiccup, and the original is just like you're slowing us down. But in this
one she's like jealous because it's like he's the chief's kid, but even though he's like kind of like a screw up, they don't throw him out just because he's the chief's kid, and she's like jealous of that.
Yeah, which I thought was a good.
That was interesting after the tape.
Yeah, because in the original she's just like I don't like you, like for no reason.
Yeah, for no reason.
Yeah, so the changes they made, none of the changes they made I thought were bad, except for just some of the casting.
Yeah, this is literally all it is. Like, thinking of, I don't remember what I gave Lilo and Stitch. I think I gave Lilo and Stitch like a 7, if I want to say. I think I gave it like 7.
I gave it a 4. You gave it a 7.
I give this probably about an 8.5, maybe closer to a 9, probably.
Yeah, I'd probably give it the same. Just because it's a live action remake.
Yeah,
I can't give it like the original's like a 10 out of 10. So like,
yeah, I can see that.
And just because it's a live action remake, I don't think I can give it a 10 out of 10, but I mean, it's pretty close. I mean, it's the same thing, So, and I love it, and it's How to Train Your Dragon. It's the music, it's the same composer, John Powell. He did a great job with the score. I mean, this is just one of the most iconic movie scores of all time. Yeah. Like, the music is just so iconic. So, I love it. It's the same thing that I love. So,
no, that's great.
Which is what these live action remakes should do.
That's what they're supposed to do, yeah.
So, that'll about do it for our thoughts on How to Train Your Dragon, the live action remake. Please let us know what you thought down below. Have you seen it yet? Are you going to see it? Are you a fan of How to Train Your Dragon?
How mad at me are you for not watching the original ones and getting into them when I was a kid?
Excited are you for... What? Are you a fan of How to Train Your Dragon? Let me know down below in the comments. Is this your first time seeing this franchise?
Do you think that DreamWorks should do more live action remakes, or do you think that this franchise is enough?
Yeah.
Do you want to see live action Shrek? Is the other thing.
So many questions. Let us know down below in the comments if you can. And we'll see you guys in our next podcast.